welcome to Government Class. In today's Government Class, we'll be looking at the Revenue Allocation Commission in Nigeria. We'll be looking at the Revenue Allocation Commissions in Nigeria. Many Revenue Allocation Commissions have been set up in Nigeria to provide solutions to the problem concerning acceptable means of allocating resources or incomes among the states or regions in the country. So, several Revenue Allocation Commissions have been set up in Nigeria so as to provide solutions to the problem of an acceptable and equal means of allocating the country's revenue among the different states, regions, and the local government. It could be said that about 9 commissions have been set up and they have provided recommendations for revenue allocation between the periods of 1946 to 1988. Some of the outcomes of these commissions were accepted, while some were rejected. So we'll be looking at some of these allocation commissions, revenue allocation commissions that were created. The first we'll be looking at in this class is the Phillipson Commission of 1946. The Phillipson Commission of 1946. This commission was set up by Otto Richard in 1946 to make recommendation on resources allocation. The commission suggested that they should use the principle of derivation and even development principle to allocate resources. So what the Phillipson Commission of 1946 came up with was to use the principle of derivation and even development to allocate the nation's resources. So this means that based on the natural resources that a nation has, that is what would determine the revenue allocation that will be given to the nation. And based on the area, in terms of development of the nation, is the nation more developed, is the nation less developed, that is also what will determine the revenue that will be allocated to the states, regions, or local government. So they use the principle of derivation and even development to allocate resources that was what the Phillipson Commission of 1946 came up with. The Hicks-Phillipson Commission of 1951. The next Revenue Allocation Commission we'll be looking at is the Hicks-Phillipson Commission of 1951. This is a commission that was set up during the introduction of Macpherson's Constitution in 1951. It was set up during the introduction of Macpherson's Commission in 1951. The commission came up with the use of derivation, needs of the region, and national interest principle as for revenue allocation. So the Hicks-Phillipson Commission, after investigating this, the way to allocate resources evenly and acceptably among the states or regions in the country, they came about with the use of the derivation principle, the needs of the nation, the needs of the state. The states that have more needs should be given more allocation compared to those that are already established or they don't have much needs. And also the interest of the nation would also be considered in allocating resources to the people. So what is the interest of the nation at that point in time? Is it education? Is it to better the healthcare center? This was also a principle that was concluded by that the Hicks-Phillipson Commission came up with. They came up with the use of the principle of derivation in allocation of resources, the use of the principle of the needs of the regions or states in allocation of resources, and national interest at large to allocate resources in the country. Still under the Revenue Allocation Commissions in Nigeria, we'll be looking at the Hicks Commission of 1953. The Hicks Commission of 1953. This was a commission that was set up by Oliver Littleton in 1953 to make recommendations on allocation of revenue. It was set up by Oliver Littleton in 1953 to make recommendations on how to allocate the nation's revenue amongst the federal, the state, and among the federal and the regional governments. The commission also came up with the use of the principle of derivation to allocate resources. So the Hicks Commission of 1953 equally came up with the use of the principle of derivation, that is, the amount of natural resources that benefits the country that a nation is able to produce would determine the revenue that will be allocated to that state that a state is able to produce is what would determine the revenue that will be allocated to that state. So the Hicks Commission of 1953, which was set up by Littleton in 1953, came up with the conclusion that the principle of derivation should be used in allocating resources in the state.